Another GSL champion has been crowned in Seoul, South Korea. Taking to the Africa TV Grand Final main stage once more, Cure, Dark, Creator and Maru tested their mettle in front of the entire world. Locked in digital combat as they sought the prestigious Starcraft 2 title.
The second bunker.
This might be enough for Cure to hold on, but let's see. Dark coming in again. That's a lot of biles to repair, a little bit too late.
And the Ling run by is genius.
Oh no, the Ling's already in the main base. Cure now has to split his forces, which means the Ravagers could rain hell down to the natural expansion. Another bunker gets shot down.
Oh my god.
And
GG.
Standing his ground as the last surviving Zerg player in the competition, Dark opened up the evening with two incredibly speedy wins, pushing with roaches and landing Ravager biles. In the semi-finals, he paired up against Terran sensation Cure in the best-of-5 set. Unfortunately, Cure was able to break Dark's momentum in Game 3 as they picked each other apart with endless numbers. The lengthy 22.5-minute game of Amphion saw Dark spread around the map like wildfire, as a brutal base trade came down to a handful of units between the players.
I think there's still a chance here for Cure. He's taking down the Hive Tech in the main base. The Bailing Nest is going to go down. Dark, he does have an economy, but it's not much of an economy. It's only 8 Lurkers, 1 Infestor, and a couple of Hydras. The standing army for Cure, oh, it's still stronger, but not after that Fungal. 2 more Ghosts go down. GG, that's it. Dark is going to the finals.
What a great final game.
Dark was the first to progress. Primed to take the crown, he would need to throw down the gauntlet with a GSL Titan in the best-of-7 Grand Final Series. Confident and composed, the multi-GSL champion Maru took his seat in the semi-finals against the biggest Protoss threat in the competition. In a near 15-minute onslaught, Maru rolled over Creator in their first match, deleting his army in order to force his opponent into conceding. Seeking redemption on Alcyone, Creator played patiently until another base trade started to erupt. He worked effortlessly to protect his numbers, while shredding Maru down to a Game 2 defeat. Despite the loss, Maru is a pro player that could quickly adapt and come back swinging. Oceanborn saw nukes drop and EMPs burn through Protoss shields as Maru put another game to his name. Like a battering ram, it only took 9.5 minutes on Amphion to slam through the front door of Creator's base. Landing disables on Colossi severely weakened the Protoss player's defense, leading to his defeat and the end of the semi-finals bracket. No one was surprised to see the greatest Terran player in the world take his position in yet another GSL Grand Final. But as fate would have it, Maru would have his work cut out for him in the hours that followed. On the other hand, Dark cannot be underestimated. He has proven already that he was more than capable of eliminating other like-minded GSL celebrities. Following a delay on Dark's third hatchery, the Zergstar opened up with a very unorthodox strategy. With Overlord upgrades completed, Dark went all in with Queens and Zerglings as he ignored Maru's wall-in completely. Maru had teched towards Banshees, so he had near nothing to defend with. An incredible play made for an incredible end to the first match of the GSL Season 2 Grand Final.
And the Lightning Bolts are down in the main base, tasteless.
And the Lings are just going to keep spilling in. There's enough Queens. The transfusions come down once more. And the SCV count is about to be, what, below 10 here. He's at 12 right now. The Banshee's picked off. And that looks like it is a fatal blow. GG.
Wow, Dark.
6.5 minutes is all it took for Dark to send out his message. If Maru wanted this series, he would need to up his game against such a formidable opponent.
Do we at Lings beat
Creep was being denied by Helions in the opening of Game 2. Banshees once again returned for Maru as he picked off Roaches one by one. Bringing the fight to the Zerg players' side of the map, Dark's Roach reinforcements were able to fend off Maru's brutal 1-1 Bioforce. A follow-up drop was thwarted once more. Maru was doing his best to kick his opponent while he was down, but Dark remained in firm control of a thriving economy. With Hydralisks in his brood, Dark was able to live another day against another of Maru's pushes. He was showing complete resilience, refusing Maru any sort of entry to his base. On paper, the Terran player was ahead in every way. One small and brutal pinpoint attack by Dark, however, changed the flow of the game entirely. It bought Dark enough time to take into Lurkers and Nidus Worms. Maru's main base was breached as the formidable ground units poured onto the battlefield. Maru was forced to concede a game that, for the most part, he was in complete control of.
And I feel like Maru is starting to breathe his last couple of breaths.
I don't see any way Maru can recover.
This command center also getting attacked over at the 3 o'clock position. More lurkers coming in. Dark plays such a lurker-heavy style, but he makes it work.
The Zerg mastermind that is Dark took down the honourable Maru for a second time, leaving audiences around the world in complete disbelief. 2 more games is all he needed to not only claim the GSL title, but to defeat one of the most talented Starcraft 2 players in the whole of South Korea. After a brief moment of reflection and rest, Maru and Dark prepared themselves for the 3rd game of the GSL Season 2 Grand Final. The map was Oceanborn. Early Reapers found little value, but nearing the 6-minute mark, Dark attempted a game-winning push. Maru had the numbers to push back the Zergling, Ravager and Roach threat. Banshees did damage to Dark's drone and Queen count, but it wasn't anything that he couldn't get on top of. Maru's 9-minute assault was doing incredibly well, until perfectly timed Fungals decimated his ground infantry, forcing the Terran player to retreat. Dark's Fungals were commendable, but Maru's 2-pronged attack was enough to minimize brood numbers.
Oh, another nice fungal catches some of these Marines on the ground.
These Fungals are just insane from Dark. I cannot believe he is making these fights happen with, honestly, such a weak army composition.
But that's going to be
GG's call.
Makes it work.
Maru finally put a point on the board, letting the GSL crowd know that his head-to-head with Dark was far from over. The first few minutes of Game 4's Site Delta saw Maru clear creep and harass with Hellions and Reapers. But nearing the 7-minute mark, the Terran player was punished for leaving his wall in unattended. Zerglings poured into Maru's natural. After calling his forces back, Maru had little to defend his 3rd command center. SCV deaths started to rise. A high Zergling presence was preventing Maru from making any drops. With upgrades and high numbers, Zerglings overwhelmed the outlying Terran mineral lines, obliterating worker numbers. The flood of these early game Zerg units caused a major upset. Ultralisk tech had finished and were being spawned into battle. But Dark had already done the damage he needed to put himself on tournament point.
This is a completely different alternative style, and it's working perfectly. There's literally just 2 landed command centers right now. SCVs are scrambling to just find mineral patches to start to return to. 3-3 about to actually be done. GG.
In his own crafty way, Dark was getting inside the head of his opponent, perfecting build orders that Maru was just not ready for. This happened again in the first few minutes of Game 5's Alcyone. when Dark scouted Maru's proxy barracks, putting a stopper in his opener. Despite locating the structure, Maru picked off several drones with his Reapers, putting Dark at a disadvantage. A brutal 4 medivac drop in the main base denied Dark a crucial defensive upgrade for his Brood. Confident in his approach, Maru attempted to scale Dark's high ground, but the Zerg players surrounded him. There were hard casualties on both sides, eventually leading to Maru's retreat. Moments later, Swarm hosts came out to play, just in time for Maru's next high ground attempt. 3-3 Marines and Marauders backed by siege tanks and medivacs broke through everything Dark had. The Swarm hosts proved useless in the remaining seconds of the game.
And again, I mean, the Swarm hosts now are just sort of it's like a prop. It's a silly party toy here for the game. It can't really do anything because it can't get over to where it needs to defend. There it is, GG.
Maru's story of redemption was being written after snapping up his second win. He would need to do it all again back on the map of Amphion to stay alive in the grand final. Answering to Maru's Reapers, early Zerglings caused a ruckus in the first few minutes so that Dark could begin production of his third hatchery uncontested.
And this Nidus is going to finish as 1-1 finishes.
Maru began working on reducing creep, while Dark put his game-winning plan into motion. A hefty group of Roaches and Ravagers began their assault at the easternmost command center, all while a Nidus worm burrowed its way into Maru's main.
Spotting time for that Nidus in the main base, and it just now pops.
A mixture of Zerg minions hit Maru where it hurt the most. With Terran forces split up to answer both threats, key infrastructure and workers began to fall.
The main base mineral line's vacated. Now Dark trying to seize the
Now there's a little bit of a...
SCVs were pulled to do what they could, but this two-way attack was just something Maru was severely unprepared for.
Yeah, Dark is just trying to knock Maru off balance and find the place where he is most vulnerable. Now coming again into the main base as Maru commits more forces to the natural expansion. SCVs trying to block as best they can as more bio stims into the main. Roaches and Ravagers coming out of that Nidus. There's just more enough to clean it up. GG!
A GSL Titan had fallen. In a complete opposite result to the 2023 Season 2 Code S Grand Final, Dark defeated Maru 4-2, rising as the next Starcraft 2 champion in the South Korean capital. Dark took home the 5 million Korean won prize pool, the esteemed title, and 800 ESL Pro Tour points for his outstanding effort over the weekend.
Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to keep up to date with the amazing esport content from around the gaming globe. Only on Unbeaten Esports.